So I heard you have a father and he's booked.
Welcome to Book It. I am your Commissioner Lil X Fudge, and today we got your general managers, Damone D Money Allen.
I agree with Biggie when he said you were looking for your 5-star classics. Bump that because you're not getting it here tonight.
And the bad guy.
Oh yeah. This is gonna be a bad night. If you're looking for good wrestling, this is not it. The way we booked each other's shows, not each other's shows, but like just gave each other the talent we gave each other. It's nasty.
You know, I think it's time we update our tagline because we used to call ourselves the podcast where we book and rebook your favorite wrestling storylines. But with the Book It Verse trilogy being what it has been, I think we should include your favorite and least favorite wrestling storylines because we have talked about and created some nasty things.
We have.
But
Possibly
throughout
things.
throughout the Book It Verse, we've had our ups and downs, but we've always given it our best. But tonight, we are not doing that. Tonight, we are giving you the final product of what we call Book It Verse 4.5, Book It Verse GT, Book It Verse Mini, Book It Verse Light, whatever you want to call it. We are giving you a mini Book It Verse where Bad Guy and D Money have drafted each other some rosters and belts and shows and
Straight
names.
sabotage is what it was.
It was disgusting. It was espionage. This was treason, jailable offenses. People are going to prison for what they did to each other last week. And tonight, I am the torture victim that has to sit through these two pay-per-views and rate them.
I feel like you're going to enjoy some of this.
I'm going to enjoy putting on record low scores. And that's me who's given some record low scores already. If you didn't see me rate Travis's developmental and Book It Verse 3, go back.
That's all I got to beat.
I cried. So I think today I'm going to be in absolute pain as I go through this. So who's making me suffer first?
I'm going first, and you're gonna have a good time. The audience is gonna have a great time.
And
I'm gonna be honest. Don't take any of these. Don't expect any serious. Like
Same.
I think there's like one serious thing I do.
Yeah,
and I abandon that.
I gotta make sure our listening audience remembers the rating scale. We normally rate from 50 cents in D Money dollars to $5, with the exceptions of we get one $0 and one $5.50 that we can give to any momentous occasion. So fuck the Meltzer stars. We do D Money dollars around here, and I'm going with shows as they go. I will get the collective averages at the end of the night, and I will tell you who the winner is. So who can make me suffer less?
So I'm starting first.
Yep,
so
you got it.
I'm presenting Deathmatch. Presents Great Balls of Fire.
DVD balls, triple D balls.
But it's called Deathmatch, and there's no death matches.
No death matches. It's just the name of the company. It's Deathmatch.
Live, like a shitty anime.
Live from the King Abdullah Sports City Sports Hall in the Great Saudi Arabia. So we start off. Christian Cage and Adam Copeland, they reunited and they won the inaugural Triple D tag titles. So Matt Jackson meets Marty Jannetty and admits that he always liked him more than Shawn. Marty and Matt become the number one contenders by defeating Dax Harwood and Trevor Murdoch.
Hey, if Dax Harwood didn't have Cash Wheeler, Trevor Murdoch would probably be his first choice of partner with his broken ass Jim Cornette. And that's real wrestling.
Yeah, that's crazy.
At Road Rage, Marty and Matt look to have Cage and Copeland beat when Copeland low blows Matt to retain the titles. In the rematch, Cage and Copeland leave the ring to get counted out. It's announced by General Manager CM Punk to prevent Cage and Copeland from taking advantage of the rules. It will be an Ultimate X match at Great Balls of Fire. So the actual match itself. So it's Matt Jackson and Marty Jannetty, the Young Rockers, versus Cage and Copeland,
The Young Rock.
the Young Rockers.
The third rockers, third bikers.
Whenever something good happens, you got to be like 3D, 3D, 3D.
The back and forth affair.
Triple D. It's Triple D versus
Triple
BBW
D.
tonight. I'm in heaven.
D. And so it's a back and forth affair. Matt and Marty, they hit dual sweet chin music on Adam Copeland with the exploding Nikes. Copeland spears Jannetty off the ropes to the floor. Cage hits an unprettier through a chair. Matt is dangling on the X, and he sees Cage getting up, and he hits a Hurricane Rana off the X onto Cage. Jannetty and Matt hit a Meltzer driver when Matt uses, he pulls himself up and springboards off the X on the Copeland. Copeland hits a top rope execution to the outside on Marty. Later, he spears Matt through the barricade as well. The finish comes with all four men in the ring throwing super kicks at the same time, and all four men are down. So they all super kick each other. Copeland, and Christian. Cope and Christian both manage to grab chairs that are in the ring, and as Marty and Matt help each other get to their feet, they get smashed with concertos as they knock heads together as well. Christian then grabs a ladder and uses it to climb up and grabs the title as Cage and Copeland retain.
Well, here's what I liked about it. The style you wrote the match was actually really good. That's like typical shit that I would enjoy. So you definitely catered to my wrestling tastes. One thing I want to take off, we're not that we're writing the most extensive stories, but you did not utilize Marty Jannetty's infectious personality as seen on his Facebook account. And the fact that we didn't get any murder stories or creepiness or just general Marty Jannetty weird shit is a missed opportunity to me.
You gotta real life stuff. Why can't you just give me?
Well, trying to give you
if you're gonna give me Marty Jannetty, I want the fullness of Marty Jannetty.
I was trying to give you rockers Marty Jannetty.
Okay, but that sucks. I prefer fucking confessing
Marty,
to murder on Facebook, Marty Jannetty.
Rockers Marty Jannetty was good.
Let me look through
but not as good as Facebook Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, I was gonna say now I gotta look through my thing and see if anybody has any scandals going on.
It's
I forgot who I'm talking to here.
Y'all wanted Twitter Iron Sheik. I wanted Facebook Marty Jannetty.
That's nasty.
Oh, that is nasty, but
it's disgusting. But this was meant to be disgusting. You gotta understand the assignment. For that, I'm gonna give you what is probably gonna be the highest score of the night, $4.
Okay, I'll take it.
Just because the wrestling was really good, actually. I was like, you know what? I'd be watching an AEW pay-per-view when that shit would come on, and I'd be losing my shit.
That's definitely the best in-ring match of the night. So I wanted to start off hot with the actual wrestling.
Yeah, this is probably as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah. So the next match is Mikey Whipwreck versus Scotty Too Hottie.
Hey, 7-year-old me would love this shit.
So Scotty and Mikey were in a tag team on the Indies called the Whippersnappers.
They're buying up all the baggy pants from 2001 Hot Topic.
Yuck. So Whippersnappers, that's gross.
They were in the tag team tournament to crown the inaugural tag team champs, but lost in the first round when Scotty got pinned. After the match, Scotty tries to apologize to Mikey for losing the match, and Mikey says it's okay. The following week, they have another tag match, but again, Scotty gets pinned. Mikey helps Scotty and appears that he's going to help him, but instead he hits the whippersnapper, which is the stunner.
Yep.
He grabs a mic and says that he's done carrying Scotty's dead weight, that Scotty is washed and the team is over. The following week, Scotty challenges Mikey to a one-on-one match to prove that he still has it. Mikey accepts the match for Great Balls of Fire. So to the actual match, Mikey dominates the beginning of the match, working on Scotty's surgically repaired neck. Scotty tries to make a comeback, but Mikey manages to regain control. Mikey goes for the whippersnapper, but Scotty counters it and hits a series of clotheslines, then a drop kick followed by a super kick. Mikey wobbles and falls down. Scotty turns around wild eyed and then time for the worm. So then he hits the worm. Boom, boom. Uh, Goes for the pin, but Mikey manages to get his foot on the rope. Scotty goes to get Mikey up, but Mikey eye rakes him and hits the whippersnapper, but Scotty kicks out at 2. Mikey goes for the whippersnapper again, but Scotty rolls him up and gets the 1, 2, 3 and rolls out of the ring. Mikey loses his mind in the ring as Scotty celebrates by dancing in the crowd.
Okay. You see, there's nothing wrong with this match, but there's also nothing right with this match. Like, there's that's very boring.
Their
like,
movesets are boring. Nothing to their movesets.
yeah. Well, like
They
Scotty
both have
Tuati's
literally
got
the most. They would literally have the most generic wrestling moveset.
no,
and then
Scotty
they just have the
Tuati's got a
worm.
little bit of sauce.
It's
Like,
look. Scotty was my favorite wrestler at one point. I know his moveset. There's nothing to it.
he's got like some Hurricane Ranas and some head scissors, like some basic like 2000s cruiserweight moves that I could enjoy.
Generic. It's same with Mikey Whipwreck. We just wait for the finisher. We don't care about nothing else they do.
But it was a very boring match. There was nothing really to latch on to. The story wasn't terrible, uneventful. That's just how I would describe it. Just uneventful. Did this happen? I don't know. Like, I'm gonna give this a little below a Travis mid.
Okay.
I'm gonna give this a 2.5.
Okay, I'll take it.
So 250.
I'll take any change I can get on this pay-per-view. So the next match. So this is where I kind of went off the rails. I'm gonna be honest.
Delicious. Finally, some good fucking
Oh yeah,
food.
mine starts off the rails. I ain't gonna lie to you. Mine starts off ridiculous.
So you're getting Mordecai versus Vince McMahon in an Inferno match.
Delicious. Okay.
So after losing all his money after the XXXFL fails, Vince McMahon.
Wait a minute. Wait a goddamn second here. What is the XXSFL?
It's Mia Khalifa just getting tackled over and over again.
What is it? What was it?
Wrestling company mixed with adult entertainment.
So what's the FL? Is it football or is it wrestling?
Yes, football. It's football. So it's the
football,
XFL.
wrestling, and porno.
Yes, pretty much. But
Okay.
it failed. It didn't
It's
work
football
out.
with the titties out. That's all it is.
So Vince shows up
I'm shocked that didn't work.
and he shows up in deathmatch, expected to be put into an office role.
You
But
mean The Rock
CM
didn't buy the company after XFL folded?
No. CM Punk informs him that they want to put on a good show, so he'll be nowhere near creative. But he does have a job for him in Triple D as an in-ring performer if he wins his match tonight. Vince has his first match in a losing effort to Dean Malenko, who makes him tap out in less than a minute. After the match, Punk comes out and says that performance was worse than mine in the UFC.
These bros roasted himself on the promo.
He says that he'll give Vince one more chance.
Punk would never have that humility.
He'll give Vince one more chance, and it'll be symbolic of his future because Vince has a lot of sins to pay for. The lights go out, and Mordecai is standing behind him and hits a crucifix bomb.
He on the hell. That's crazy. Man,
He's taking him across the river Styx.
Punk says that says that Vince mocked God, and now he will be sent to hell by one of his disciples because at Great Balls of Fire, it will be Vince McMahon versus Mordecai in an Inferno match.
As he sets his balls on fire.
So the match itself, Mordecai is the upper hand through most of the match or much of the beginning until Vince manages to low blow him. Vince tries to escape, but Punk, who is at ringside, makes them turn the flames up, which prevents Vince from being able to leave. Vince stomps on Mordecai's fingers and reveals that he has brass knuckles in his pants, which he uses to bust Mordecai open. Then he mocks Mordecai and Punk. Vince yells about how much bigger his grapefruits are than God. He says, "I have bigger grapefruits than God." Vince tries to drag Mordecai to the flames, but Mordecai grabs him by the throat and hits a huge choke slam. He then throws Vince through the flames with the crucifix bomb to the outside, with Vince landing on the outside. So Mordecai wins the match. The crew tries to put Vince out, but Punk stops them, and he pees on Vince to put the flames out.
Wow. So he pulled his pecker out, is what you're saying. He pulled it out.
You don't actually see the pee, like his dick.
I was gonna say, I was like, this is
You
crazy.
see the stream.
Okay, Damone, you're gonna get a little bit of a stipend because Saraya just lost the AEW title a bunch from behind. So I'm like, fuck yes, delicious. I'm in a good mood. So CM Punk pulled his pecker out and pissed on Vince.
Yes.
Fucking CM Kelly.
That's crazy.
I was
Saying,
inspired
"I
by
wanna
Stone
piss
Cold
on
Steve
you."
Austin, who peed on
Yeah, that's
Told him
crazy.
your body is a porta
Now he
potty.
can't be. Now he can't be within 100 feet of a school now because he's pulling his meat up. He's on the list. He has to introduce himself to people now.
he pisses on Vince to put the fire out.
That is crazy.
That is nuts. So the storyline wasn't terribly built up. Like, it was actually pretty, like, it made sense. It was funny. It was stupid. That match is gonna be fucking gross. Like, because Kevin Thorne Mordecai was never that good, right?
No, not really.
And then
It's
there's
cool
Vince in
gimmick.
the ring.
Kevin Thorne wasn't good either. Like if we don't go that far, he wasn't good in general.
Yeah.
No,
He looked cool at various
looked
points.
cool,
Like,
yeah.
But when you go back and watch it, he does not look cool. When you go back and watch that shit, is awful.
we're talking about Mordecai or Kevin Thorne?
Both.
Oh, I thought Kevin Thorne looked cool as shit.
Kevin Thorne looked cool.
I went back and watched those matches, and I was like, "This is awful."
Okay, not the matches. His look.
No, I'm
His
saying
look.
everything about it was cringy. Like it was bad.
Ariel
when the
looked,
zombie showed up on ECW.
Ariel looked good. With those, she had her
Oh, yeah,
titties
yeah,
out, so.
No, Kevin Thorne had some cool gear at least. But to get to the main point, I gotta balance out like the OK story, a dog doo-doo match, and then Pissgate that happened afterwards. Plus the little stipend of Saraya just losing the AEW Women's Championship. All is right with AEW once again.
Who she lose to?
Hikaru Shida, which is just kind of like their plan
sounds
C
like,
at
yeah.
all points. But we're back to
Should've been Tony
neutral,
Storm.
you
Should have
know.
been Tony Storm.
Yeah, we want Timeless Tony to win it, but I'll take this. If they were gonna do this randomly, it should have been Timeless Tony. Anyways, so I'm gonna say for the story, we're gonna start at a raw $3.
Okay.
Then for the match, we're gonna lose 1.5.
Okay.
So we're at
Never mind.
$1.50. Then we have CM Punk pulled his pecker out on national television.
You don't
the fact we can call it a pecker.
We don't see it. I acknowledge we don't see it, but it's implied. There's like piss trickling on Vince McMahon to put out a fire. Does piss
He's
even
like,
put out
God
a
damn
fire?
it, Punk, you're pissing on me. He's going off.
Does this piss even put out a fire?
It's water, mostly water. So I'm assuming so.
I don't know. CM Punk with all that Pepsi he drink, that's gonna be some fucking bright
He's gonna
yellow
be yelling at the
piss.
security. God damn it, stop staring. Help me out.
That ain't clear hydrated piss. We know CM Punk don't drink no goddamn water.
That's crazy.
He's miserable. So as they're pouring the lemonade on Vince,
It's apple juice.
I'm gonna give this $1.
Okay, I'll take it. And
I think that's generous. I think 25 cents of that was the Saraya losing that belt.
I'll take it.
It would have been 75 cents, but I'll give it $1. Round
Okay.
up to donate to charity.
So the next match is going to be Ron the Truth Killings versus Matt Riddle in a ladder match for custody of Matt Riddle's kids.
That is crazy. That match would be fire, though. I mean, not for the custody, but
Yeah.
like that match would be fire, though.
Yeah, this match is gonna fuck. I can't wait to hear this storyline.
So
don't spend no good matches out of me. These matches are gonna be. These matchups are ass.
So it's reported by Sean Sapp that Ron Killings has begun to date Matt Riddle's ex-wife.
Ugh.
Ron confirms
Damn.
this and says, "Once you go black, you don't walk again straight again."
God damn.
You see, you can get a handicap sticker now.
Ron then starts posting pictures of him with Matt's kids tossing a football, cooking, and like them taking a nap together. You know those pictures parents put up. So Ron captions them. I'm not the stepfather, but I'm the father that stepped up.
Yeah.
Does he get the shirt too?
Yes.
He has live, laugh, love on his
Matt
shirt.
is
They got the Mickey Mouse like hand where it's like I'm hers. I'm his.
Yeah, that's nasty.
He's my king.
But like even on the pointing at each other, they're not standing on the right way. They're both standing in the opposite direction.
so Matt
One's
is
got like he does not dare disrespect his the Joker on it.
He said, I lost my husband. He said, I'm husband. You got that shirt.
Matt is asked by TMZ about all of this, and Matt says that he's going to fuck Ron up the next time he sees him. So Matt's son has a birthday party with Ron obviously there. Matt gets into his face, but his ex-wife steps between them and says that Matt needs to accept that she's moved on and is in love. Matt says the only reason he isn't beating Ron's ass right now is because of his son. Matt gives his son a brand new bike, which the son seems excited about. Ron then gives him a customized four-wheeler, and his son says, "I love you, Daddy Ron." Matt loses it and attacks Ron, and the two have to be pulled apart. As Matt is being held back, we see Ron gather Matt's ex and his kids around, and he says he loves them and asks if he can make things official and proposes to her. She says yes, and the kids are super excited and say, "We can't wait for you to be our daddy now." Ron has a match against Matt the following week with the family in the audience. Ron manages to get the better of Matt with the lie detector. Matt loses it again and attacks Ron after the match and hits her bro Derek. The kids are seen crying when Matt yells at them that he's their dad, not him, or not Ron, grabs them over the barricade and drags them to the back. We see later on we see him forcing them into his car and driving off as Ron and Becky chase after him. Matt puts out a tweet that these are just as much his kids as that dumb bitch and that wannabe rapper. Ron and Matt go back and forth on Twitter, both threatening legal action. Punk intervenes and says that they can settle this in the ring like men. It will be Ron Killings versus Matt Riddle for custody of the kids. Both agree to the match. So the kids are in the crowd during the match and actively cheer when Ron comes out, and they boo when Matt comes out. Ron comes out on fire and backs Matt into the corner and beats him down and dominates the beginning. He grabs a ladder, but Matt manages to drop kick it into his face. Matt puts Ron's leg into the ladder and smashes it over and over. Matt tries to climb, but Ron manages to pull him down and hit a running elbow. Riddle's on the outside when Ron hits a suicide dive through the ropes. Ron goes to Irish whip Matt, but Riddle counters and throws him into the steel steps. Matt then hits a bro Derek through the announce table. Matt is able to grab the clipboard, or is about to grab the clipboard with the custody papers on it, when his ex-wife gets into the ring and grabs his leg, preventing him from getting it. Matt climbs down and pushes her down, then verbally berates her. When he turns around, the kids are in the ring and beg him to stop. He says, "You're my kids, not his, and you're going to live with me, not your bitch of a mother." Ron gets up and tries to springboard drop kick. But he tries to hit a springboard drop kick on Matt, but Matt pulls his daughter in the way, and Ron accidentally hits her.
She gotta take a bump.
Yeah, take a bump. So Ron accidentally hits her. Ron and the medics, they go to check on her.
Imagine watching your parents divorce. You gotta take a fucking bump.
Ron and the medics check on her. Matt sets up the ladder while this is happening and starts to climb when the son this time grabs his leg, annoying Matt, who goes to hit him, but gets stopped by Ron, who like grabs his arm in midair when he goes to like smack him. Ron then gut kicks him and hits the lie detector, followed by a spinning scissors kick. Ron and the Sun set up the ladder together, with the rungs of the ladder on top of Matt. As Ron climbs the ladder, grabs the custody papers, and brings them down, and the new family celebrate.
You're gonna be shocked to hear this, but this is actually really good in a weird way. It has flaws, but this is the most like Facebook group post of a storyline of all time. Like if you go to like any city group or like any single mom posting about like the fucking like breakup, this is the type of shit that would occur. And it's perfect. Well, it's perfect and flawed because there's no good guy in this story.
I was
Like,
thinking that too. There's no
because
good
our
guy.
truth starts off being a piece of shit, and then Matt Riddle turns into a piece of shit. Because at first it's like, oh, Matt Riddle's the good guy. We're supposed to feel sorry for him. Our truth's fucking him over.
Nope.
And then Matt Riddle goes like full abusive, like fucking crazy dad. And had our truth not been such a cunt in the beginning, it'd be clear that our truth was the good guy who's just trying to be the father who stepped up. You know what I mean?
He's not the stepfather. He's the father that stepped up.
But this was actually really fun. Like, I enjoyed consuming this, which
Thank you.
with all that's going to go on tonight, there's going to be a lot that I don't enjoy consuming. I liked this. I'm not going to give it a 5 because of its flaw. But this is going to earn you, I'm going to say, a 4.25.
Okay, I'll take it.
It was enjoyable. It was stupid in a good way. It was realistic, and it was trashy. So you got me on that one. I can't believe that I've given 2 ratings above a 4 tonight.
Speaking of trashy, down to the bra and panties match.
Oh yeah,
in Saudi Arabia.
In Saudi Arabia. So it's Sol Roca versus Saraya. So my other option was Brie Bella. These were the 2 best wrestlers I had. So Sol Roca is the initial women's signing to Triple D. Saraya is brought in second and makes it very clear
ain't one Triple D in this match.
That she's not happy that Sol was signed first. Sol Ruka beats Brie Bella to win the women's championship, but is immediately blindsided by Saraya, who strips her down to her underwear, then spray paints bitch onto her back. Saraya is interviewed leaving the arena about what she just did and says that Sol is just another dumb blonde who got on her knees to get her way, while she's a revolutionary and is sick of being disrespected. The following week, before a commercial break, it cuts into the women's locker room where Sol and Saraya are brawling and have to be separated. Sol says that she's worked her ass off, and if anyone knows anything about being on their knees, it's Saraya. Saraya has a match against Brie and
I did
wins.
not see that coming.
Saraya has a match against Brie and wins, but after the match, Sol comes out and the 2 fight again. But this time, Sol gets the advantage and hits the Soul Snatcher, which is the like springboard reverse RKO or cutter.
Yeah.
And she does the fire. She then strips Saraya like she had been stripped the previous week. Punk announces that since both ladies want to fight and seem fixated on stripping each other, he talked to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, and with a large cash donation and a Pepsi sponsorship.
How the fuck CM Punk got this money? He be getting fired everywhere.
Yeah, he's the owners of Triple. He's just the general manager. The owners of Triple D got the money, but he also has a great relationship with Pepsi, and he gets a Pepsi sponsorship, which makes Pepsi the official soft drink of Saudi Arabia. He got it approved to have the first ever bra and panties match in Saudi Arabian history.
So they just said, "Fuck the religion."
For some Pepsi. For money and Pepsi.
God damn.
That's crazy.
I'd probably do it for Pepsi.
That is crazy.
That
is wild.
The match opens with Saraya using her veteran instincts to gain the advantage and ground Sol. So Saraya works on Sol's arm, including smashing it against the steel post. Saraya manages to get Sol's shirt off and goes to pull off her trunks, but Sol pushes her off with her feet. Saraya elbows her, Iris whips her into the corner, but Soul manages to hit the Soul Snatcher. She then pulls Soraya's pants off. She tries to pull her top off too, but Soraya kicks her in the gut. The two brawl, and it looks like Soul has the advantage, but Soraya yanks her arm to gain the advantage, the arm that she'd been working on. She then mounts her and lays heavy elbow strikes, and then taunts the crowd. She goes to hit the Widow's Peak, but Soul manages to fight out of it and hits a European uppercut, then hits a springboard Soul Snatcher. She then strips off Soraya's shirt for the win. Soul is immediately covered up, but celebrates as Soraya is also covered up immediately, as well as she makes her way visibly upset backstage.
There ain't even no payoff for this.
You get to see it for about 10 seconds.
This is fucking terrible. What's the point? You know what?
You want to give it a 0?
This is getting Damone 0. This is because there's not gonna be much good wrestling because Sol Ruka isn't like seasoned enough to carry Soraya through this fucking match. And as we just saw in the match, she lost her title in. Soraya can't even hit her own fucking finisher. Yeah, you do this match type, the bra and panties match type. We all know it's always a bad match, but damn it, if you're gonna do the pervert stipulation, I don't care if it's Saudi Arabia or not. You can't. I don't care about the Saudi Pepsi sponsorship. There's got to be a payoff, but we got nothing.
Give me 25 cents for the Pepsi sponsorship. I need a quarter to be able to buy a crisp.
Denied. Fuck you. Continue.
This match is not going to get anybody.
Did I waste my 0 at the wrong point?
You might have. So the match is a 2x4 on a pole match, featuring Matt Striker versus Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
This has potential.
So you said 2x4. I said, I forgot he got Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Shit. On an episode of Deathmatch, by the way, the weekly is also called Deathmatch. So it's Deathmatch.
It's just 4 times.
God has left the building.
Shit.
Matt Striker comes out and begins to lecture the fans about history to a chorus of boos before his match. Striker
do that in Saudi Arabia too?
Striker stops and says that this shows why America is full of idiots. A lack of respect for teachers like me. Out comes his opponent, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, waving the good old American flag. Matt says, "What makes you think you can come out and interrupt me in my lesson?" Jim says, "Oh." Matt says, "What does that even mean, you ignoramus?" Jim again just yells, "Ho!" into the mic. Matt says, "If you're an idiot, say ho." Jim looks to the crowd and says, "No." Matt gets annoyed and punches Jimmy or Jim, and the match starts. So Matt dominates the start of the match. Duggan. But Duggan hulks up and comes back on Matt. It looks like Jim is about going to win when Matt uses Jim's 2x4 and gets himself disqualified. He beats down Jim with the 2x4. The following week, Jim is looking for Matt and his beloved 2x4. By the way, Matt stole the 2x4. So Jim is looking for Matt and his beloved 2x4, but can't find them. Later on, Matt Striker gets into the ring and cuts a promo saying that idiots like Jim are the reason this country is in the terrible shape it is. Instead of putting money into the arts or reading or math or science or history, people like Jim waste money on classes like gym and We then see Matt about to cut the 2x4 in half with a saw that he had in a bag. Jim comes out and stops him from cutting it, but Matt again gets the better of him and he hits Jim with his own 2x4. The following week, Matt invites Jim into his class and gives him a test where Jim fails because he just writes ho on every question.
Every answer.
Every question, every answer.
It's A, B, C, D answers. It's just ho every time.
Oh. The other kids in the classroom, they initially are laughing at Jim until he throws a spitball at Matt mid-lesson and they all start to like join in and like appreciate Jim. So Matt tells them to settle down, and he blames Jim for the problems in the class. He then challenges Jim to a 2x4 in a pole match. If Jim wins, he can have it back, and Matt will shake his hand and admit he's the better man.
He confiscated his 2x4.
If
He
Matt
took his phone.
He took his 2x4.
If Matt wins, he's not only going to cut the 2x4 in half, he's going to burn it while Jim watches. Jim accepts by yelling, "Ho!" Matt yells at him to get out, which Jim does.
He in class 103, just before the kids.
Which Jim does. But the rest of the class then starts getting up too and marching with Jim, yelling "Ho!" and they grab the flag from the classroom and just waving as they walk out of the classroom. We find out that the 2x4 was given to Jim by his father, who was a carpenter, but died when Jim was young, which is why he's so attached to it.
He's like the kid from Eddie and Eddie.
The match is back and forth with neither man having a decided advantage. Jim manages to overpower Matt, but Matt outsmarts him when he goes for a crossbody and moves out of the way, and Jim crashes to the floor. Matt goes after him and whips him into the turnbuckle or the barricade and lands knees to the gut, then a series of chops. Later in the match, Matt goes for a knee drop, but Jim manages to avoid it. He then rallies with a series of short arm clotheslines, then an atomic drop and a bionic elbow, then clotheslines Matt out of the ring. Jim starts to make it up to the apron when Matt smacks him in the back with a steel chair, knocking him down. The ref admonishes Matt, but he doesn't care. He then hits a golden rule, which is his finisher, and goes to climb the turnbuckle to grab the 2x4 when the lights go out. When the lights come back on, he's surrounded by all the kids in his class who stopped him from being able to climb. They then attack they attack Matt, and he manages to overpower them, like he pushes them all away. But when he turns around, he gets hit with a 3-point stance tackle by Hacksaw, who then climbs the turnbuckle and recovers the 2x4 and celebrates with his newfound class friends. Oh.
This wasn't bad. This was enjoyable. I don't think the wrestling would be fantastic, but the story, it did enough for me. It wasn't bad. It was silly. It was goofy. I could see it opening a pay-per-view back in like 2006. Like I could have seen like back when Raw had Hacksaw Jim Duggan back for no reason, and Matt Striker was getting his start. I could see this being opening a pay-per-view.
It's wild that he won the first Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. What a weird wrestler. I thought he was a way bigger deal than he was when I was a kid. I was like,
I saw him as a joke that whole time.
Well, I was like, they brought back a legend, and he's doing this for us.
Nope, this is just his thing the whole time.
I'm gonna give this my own mid and give this $3.
Okay, I'll take it.
I'm not gonna lie, I fucked with that story. I liked it.
It was like just a nice, relaxing kind of storyline. You sit back, you know what I mean? Like it opens a pay-per-view, it does its job. You get your soda, you get your snacks ready.
I would have popped. No, I'll be all in for this. I would have popped for this. I would have been like,
you were big on it?
Jim Duggan's fight tonight against Matt Striker.
He's got to do it for his dad and the kids.
I'll be all in for this.
So the next match, Shawn Stasiak versus Marcus Corfon.
Delicious.
Finally, some
good.
No, this is the main event. I got 2 more matches. So.
Okay. I thought it was main event. I was like, oh.
Hey, that's a main event. I like.
Main event is
it's going down.
The main event is nasty too. So, so Shawn Stasiak has created his own food truck company called Meats, where they sell the best meat in pro wrestling.
All right, now look, that's getting too close to my pay-per-view name. Mine is Slappin meat, getting a little too close.
Shawn is cooking up some brisket, some ribs, and some steak. When Marcus Corfon forces his way to the front of the line and demands 2 of each thing, including a well-done steak and to make it fast.
Not well done.
Later on, we see Sean and his sous chef Johnny, formerly of the Spirit Squad, bring the food.
I forgot I made you trapped. I forgot about that.
They bring the food over to Marcus, who says, "Took you long enough." Sean goes back to the food truck. So these
The angry customer.
yeah, these aren't like concurrent, like it's throughout the show. So later on, we see Marcus. He forces his way back to the front of, and like after they give him the food, we just see him start like eating. Later on, Marcus forces his way back to the front of the truck and starts yelling at Johnny. Sean stops and gets off the truck and says, "What seems to be the problem? You don't like my meat?" Marcus says the brisket was dry, the ribs were too sticky, and the steak was like a brick. Sean apologizes and offers to refund Marcus and remake the food, but I need it back. Marcus says, "I ate it already." Sean says, "Well, then I can't refund you for it then." Marcus gets in Sean's face and starts yelling at him that he's going to beat Sean's ass if he doesn't give him a refund right now and more food too. Sean says no. Marcus pushes Sean to the ground. Sean gets up and the two begin to brawl until they are separated by security. CM Punk makes the match official for Great Balls of Fire with the stipulation if Sean wins, Marcus is banned from meets. But if Marcus wins, he gets to eat free for a year.
So he's wait. So Marcus
This is
isn't
a
even
customer
really,
service dispute.
yeah, I was gonna say Marcus isn't even a villain because the customer's always right, technically. So
he
That's
could have
wild.
called the fucking help desk.
The match begins with a test. So yeah, if Marcus wins, he gets a free year of food. If Sean Stasiak wins, Marcus is
Man.
banned. So the match begins with a test of strength with Corvan initially getting the advantage, but then Stasiak overpowers him. They lock up again and Marcus knees him in the gut, then hits a swinging neck breaker. Marcus beats down Sean with power moves and hard punches and kicks. Sean manages to hold on and eventually counters with a meat hook clothesline of his own, but can't get the pin from the damage he's taken. Later on, Sean goes for a big boot, but Marcus slides under and hits the pounce, knocking him out of the ring. He then follows after him and waits for him to get back up. And it's another pounce, this time into the steel steps, and then goes in the ring and tries to get the win, by count out. Sean manages to get in the ring to break the count at 9. Marcus goes for the pounce again, but this time Sean avoids it, but Marcus knocks out the ref. He turns around into a meat grinder DDT from Sean, who goes for the pin, but there's no ref. A new ref comes running down and goes to count it. 1, 2, but then Johnny, who was at ringside, pulls the referee out to the shock of everybody. Sean is shocked and goes after him as Johnny just starts sprinting around the ring, trying to not get caught. Sean catches up to him in the ring, like he slides back into the ring, but Marcus is up and hits Sean with a hot plate that Johnny had slid into the ring. Marcus covers Sean as Johnny gets the ref up and into the ring for the count 1, 2, 3 for the win for Marcus. After the match, John Cena, who can only talk via rap, gets into the ring and says, "Yo, what's the dealio?" to Johnny, who says that Marcus agreed to give him half the food he gets for free, and that Sean was only giving him a discount as an employee. So that's why he turned on him.
A little twist.
That's it.
I enjoyed this more than I had any right to. I kind of wish this was in my Book It verse 4. This makes sense for it. I know Meat's doing some other things there, but
Meats.
I'm gonna give this a $3.50, which is about Marcus Corvan's grocery bill for the rest of the year.
He's just gonna be eating at Meats all the time.
Yeah, he just eating for free.
For free.
He only paying that for a drink somewhere.
That's wild.
All right,
So,
give us the main event.
So the main event is LA Knight with his manager Silence versus David Arquette.
Forgot about this.
So David Arquette shockingly won the Tournament of Death to claim the deathmatch world title. So he comes out and he celebrates when LA Knight comes out with his manager Silence. LA Knight says, "Let us talk to you." And Silence mimes having a mic as well. They say that they they say that you're some sort of movie star, but any movie I've seen you in, you play the idiotic side character. That's just that's just what you're going to be in my story. As you see Silence mimic a camera roller.
Yeah.
So I'm laying out the challenge right here, right now. Great Balls of Fire, the only real superstar in this company. Silence does the superstar like thing. He does that for LA Knight versus the movie sidekick for the and Silence like does the boo for the richest prize in this company. Silence, go ahead and talk to him. Silence then mimes that LA Knight is strong and David Arquette is weak. LA Knight says, "I couldn't have said it better myself."
I like this.
David Arquette says that he's now been a world champion for 2 major companies, something LA Knight has never done. "I take a beating and I keep on eating." And just
like Marcus Corvon.
And just like Deputy Dewey in the Scream franchise, I'm going to survive to fight another day. LA Knight says he will finally win the world titles that evaded him, and then at Great Balls of Fire, it will be announced that the new champion is LA Knight. Yeah. And during that, Silence does. Punk makes the match official and sets up a contract signing for the go home show. At the contract signing, both men sign, and LA Knight says he's going to prove to everyone who ever doubted him wrong when he wins the title. David says that he's fighting to prove that he's not just another actor. Things look like they might get physical when Silence mimes an invisible wall that David Arquette accidentally punches and he injures his hand. So LA Knight then poses with the title to end the go home show. At Great Balls of Fire, LA Knight is dominating Arquette, but Arquette won't stay down. At one point, Silence, he mimes having a chair that he slides into LA Knight, but the referee sees him do this and he takes the invisible chair and he takes it out of the ring as LA Knight grabs a real chair and hits him in the back. Knight then stomps on David Arquette's injured hand. Remember, injured by punching the invisible wall. David manages to move when LA Knight goes for a splash in the corner and almost wins with a roll up, but Knight manages to kick out. David gets some offense in and hits a ghost face elbow drop from the top rope, but Knight gets his foot on the bottom rope. David looks like he might win when Silence mimes an invisible rope that he uses to trip David as he's starting to run towards Knight, and Knight manages to hit a stunner for the win and is the new deathmatch world champion. And that's it. And LA Knight and Silence celebrate.
I gotta say, I feel like this didn't get me as much as I feel like some of the other stuff you did that was funny was funnier. This didn't quite tickle me.
Okay.
It was funny enough, I like Silence, I like the LA Knight bit, but it's a little uneventful. I thought it didn't live up to Hacksaw, and it didn't live up to me.
I like Silence.
I'm gonna give this a $2.90.
I'll take it.
It was because it wasn't as good as the thing that I gave a 3. But it was about in that caliber.
Okay.
It was fine. But not anything I particularly want to see again.
John, you need a raise. A raise energy, that is.
I'm tired. What am I going to do?
Go to Meats and get a raise.
Are you tired? Tired of those other energy drinks hitting you with a short burst of jittery energy, followed by a crash that leaves you with less energy than you had before? Well, fear not, because Raze energy drinks are specifically formulated to get you going without making you jittery and keeps you from crashing. With 0 sugars, 0 calories, and better caffeine than a cup of coffee, Ray's energy drinks are the #1 growing energy drink on the market. With flavors like Baja Lime, Sour Gummy Worm, Guava Mango, and Strawberry Colada, Ray's has some of the best tasting energy drinks available. You can get a case of Ray's right now by going to repsports.com and using promo code T1THREE when you check out to take 15% off of your next order. That's promo code T1THREE for 15% off of your next order of better, tastier energy.
All right. Well, that raise costs about the $350 that you will get with the $350 that Marcus Corvon had to spend at Meats. I don't know why I said that so fucking sloppy. I guess I really do need a raise. But speaking of meat, what am I gonna do with that meat?
You gonna slap it?
Your body and the bodies you're loving deserve nothing but the best. Organic Lovin' is the only adult subscription box that includes eco-friendly body products, from body-safe adult toys to sex-positive books and erotic seminars. Organic Lovin's online store has everything you and your partner or partners could ever need to heat things up. And right now, your friends at T13 Media want to take 10% off of your next order. Just go to organiclovin.com and use promo code T1THREE like the sound the bed makes when you check out. Organic Lovin'. Love organically, purely, deeply, boldly.
All right. Tell us what you got going on, Kenny.
This is Big Booty Wrestling. They also call it BBW, presents Slapping Meat in Moscow, Russia, with our GMs Macho Man and our commentators Scott Steiner, Brock Lesnar, and Mike Adamle.
Ugh.
So we get to, he got me looking nasty out here. So the show starts, and we see Macho Man reading a book to some kids. He's like, "Hello, kids. Macho Man's here. He's going to tell you the story about how I had a company back in the day before I sold it all for some sniff. It's called Slappin' Meat from a company called Big Booty Wrestling. Yes, Big Booty Wrestling, because we're all here about treasure and whores. We had this particular event in Russia, Moscow to be exact. You know what Moscow means in Spanish? It means more cow. So we got more beef, more meat, baby. And I know you're wondering why I wasn't in Russia. I couldn't get Snortsky through customs, so I'm here with this class of third graders." And he snorts a line, gets real bug-eyed, and says, "For this match, it has literally no story. I went to the end of Mother Earth to find mythical creatures like Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy, a Yeti, the Denver Broncos, and Little People, because none of these things are real. Yes, none of these things are real. I put 10 men together for the pre-show in a King of the Mountain match. If you're unsure what it is, because I'm not too sure what it is either, let me go to the rule book. So it's a reverse ladder match. You have to put the item back onto the hook. Sounds fun. Let's see what our special commentators, Brock Lesnar, Mike Adamle, and Scott Steiner had to say." So then we get to the match. It's Great Khali, Renegade, Hornswoggle, Gobbledygooker, Mantar, Seven, Oz, Yeti, Kiss Demon, and Timmy Turtle.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I forgot I gave you one of the Dr.
Yeah, it was a 10-man King of the Mountain match. So they all start out outside the ring fighting to get in. Renegade overpowers most of the people in the ring. Then while doing the Renegade dance, he gets brain shot by Khali. Brock Lesnar gets
we're done with that. You want to see my Renegade?
Brock Lesnar gets hype at the announcer's table in his trench coat with nothing on underneath. Khali
make you do that part. You chose to do that. That part you
That
had.
joke took me a second. God damn it. God has left the building.
So,
He already left earlier, but he ain't coming back.
So Khali tosses Hornswoggle into the crowd of opponents. Mantar climbs the ladder with the belt and is trying to hook the belt up, but Gobbledygooker grabs the bottom rung of the ladder and he's like, he starts hitting turkey noises and he flips it back as Mantar goes outside of the ring and breaks through the barricade as the crowd chants, "Holy shit." Yeti and Kiss Demon are going at it, but both get double chokeslammed by Great Khali. Timmy Turtle uses his martial arts to drop everyone in the ring and ends up clotheslining Seven out of the ring as the crowd chants, "Go Ninja, go Ninja, go." And then Hornswoggle.
In Moscow, they might be trying to say something else.
damn it. Hornswoggle pulls out some hard candy and puts it in Seven's mouth and forces him to chew down on the jawbreaker as Seven screams out in pain. And the match and the match ends with Oz and Khali are fighting at the top, trying to put the title on the hook. Hornswoggle runs and tries to knock the ladder over, and it barely moves. And he keeps doing this over and over again until the ladder tips over and sends Khali and Oz out of the ring. And Hornswoggle climbs the ladder with the belt as the crowd cheers. He puts the title on the hook as the crowd goes nuts.
So Hornswoggle wins.
Hornswoggle win it all.
I'm gonna say I almost gave this a 550, but the wrong man won.
Well, who should have won?
It had to be Timmy Turtle. He was the most qualified individual in this match. He had the most skills. His in-ring prowess was above everybody else with his martial arts.
With them too. They were screaming, "Go Ninja! Go Ninja!"
Yeah, you really made the wrong booking decision. I mean,
you had Khali and Oz on the ladder. He's running like.
Oh, I'm not saying the spot isn't good, but I'm saying you didn't go with the crowd. You didn't go with the work rate marks here.
Hornswoggle was showing out, man. He put the jawbreaker in Seven's mouth, give him a taste of his own medicine. You know, he be giving candy to kids, so he got to taste his own medicine.
So this is gonna get $4.75.
That's fine. I'll take it.
But had Timmy Turtle won, it would have been a $5.50.
So we're back to Macho Man. He goes, so I was supposed to have an evening gown match between Mia Yim and Jillian Hall, but cancel culture didn't approve of me having two women ripping each other's clothes off in front of screaming fans. So last minute, luckily I was able to get Jamie Noble in the office, talking to him, and I had this great idea. And Sid Vicious was in need of a match, so I put them both in gowns, and now we're with the times. But I said the match isn't spicy enough. They need something. And he snorts on the line. He says, dogs, rabid dogs. Let's bring in a kennel at the pay-per-view. Unleash the hounds. And so now we have a gown-toting dog kennel match.
Oh, that's going to be a stinky-ass ring.
So it's Jamie Noble versus Sid Vicious in a gown-toting dog kennel match. So, but Sid Vicious has his gown on, but he has his jeans on still. And so does Jamie Noble. He has his jeans on still.
You got the jean shorts.
Yeah, he has the jeans shorts, so you can barely see him, but Sid Vicious has like the long jeans on. Yeah, he has the actual jeans on, but you can still see it underneath his gown. So in the match, Sid Vicious is overpowering him. Sid Vicious hits a vicious big boot that turns Jamie Noble inside out. Jamie Noble hits a diving crossbody that Sid catches and tosses him into an exposed turnbuckle. Jamie Noble lifts Sid Vicious with a backdrop to a roaring crowd as he cheers and adjusts his gown. He's like adjusts it a little bit. And then
I thought you said in the justice gown.
No. Adjust it. Like he's like and then the match ends with Jamie Noble trying to Irish whip Sid out the ring, but Sid quickly reverses last second, Irish whips him out, and Jamie's like ends up landing on the apron. He's like, come on, Sid, I'm scared of dogs. And then he tosses him into the kennel anyway. And the camera turns and we hear dogs, like the camera turns so you can't see it. And we hear dogs barking and clothes ripping. And he's screaming as the crowd's all feeling sorry for him. And Sid Vicious his hands raised, and we hear my denim. That's more bites ensue. He's like, "Oh Lord, my denim."
So you are getting a small stipend every match for each time the Macho Man thing's good. That's gonna help you here because this wasn't fun. I feel like this one, like I like that you mashed this shitty concept into an ultra shit concept. But
all out.
And I like the denim thing, but I also you didn't give me anything for this match. Like you didn't even try.
He did. He's on coke making these matches.
You said fuck the wrestling here.
I'm just giving you the big highlights. There's still wrestling. I'm just giving you
what big highlights of this match.
The big highlight was him tossing down.
That was it.
My denim.
I don't think there's any real match going on here. This isn't a 0 for me, but it's not getting $1. I'm gonna give this 75 cents.
He said it's in the 0, but it's not getting $1 either.
My denim.
My denim. So back to Macho Man. He says, "All right, kids, there's enough for all of you. Take some and pass it around. It's sugar that you eat with your nose. No? Okay. Oh, okay. Dare to be great. I dig it. Because that was just the pre-show. Now we're on to the actual show with two luchadors going at it. Manic and Dr. Wagner Jr., both coming from Mexican wrestling company. I don't know what the name was, but it was just some Mexican wrestling company. These two have both beat. So these two both like beat each other up. He's like, and this is the tiebreaker. Winner takes all, including the loser's mask. So now we're for the Latin American. It's literally called the Latin American World Championship.
Kenny don't want to specify.
It's called the Latin American World Championship. So Maddox versus Dr. Wagner Jr. The match is pretty back and forth.
Sammy Guevara wins it from Spain.
So the match is going back and forth, and Dr. Wagner Jr. hits a pile driver off the second rope. At one point, Dr. Wagner Jr. hits a suicide dive that sends them both into the announcer's table. Manic hits the Spanish fly on Dr. Wagner off the apron and onto ringside as they both hold their body in pain. And Manic hits the Manic Solution off the second rope, which ends into a pin. That's it.
I thought we were getting more match than that.
Yeah. But the rest of them are like legit, like 3 highlights. The first match is just how ridiculous that was. So I put more highlights in that one. These are just big moments.
This is just kind of middle of the road. I'm gonna give this a little upper mid. It's there. I'm gonna give this $3.25.
Okay. So he sniffs. He's like, and says, "Okay, it's literally past versus the future. That tells enough. Don't ask me how I did, but digging up a couple bodies, bribing a few Wiccans, a couple incantations, kissed a few goats, and now we're here." They cut a couple promos. Of course, Abe Lincoln shredding them. RoboCop rebuttals with putting them. So RoboCop's rebutting them. Rebuttal with
it was Chat GPT replies.
so RoboCop rebuttals with like putting them back in the hot tub time machine. And Abe Lincoln responds with, "If you touch water, it will mess up your circuits." Things get heated, and we now have a hot tub match. But Shark Boy gets drunk at brunch and spiked the hot tub with mimosas. So now it's a mimosa mayhem match.
It's hot mimosa too. It's fucking boiling.
It's a mimosa. So it's a hot mimosa match between RoboCop and
Abe Lincoln. Past versus future. So we see police escorts take over the road, and it's like this big entrance. And he stopped at the arena. RoboCop comes out. And he's just walking out there, and crowd's going crazy. RoboCop's like, he's getting out the cruiser, and we get a little mix of cheers and boos. And Abe Lincoln comes out to Live in America as James Brown sings. Abe Lincoln is wearing an American flag trunks, an American flag top hat, and a white wife beater. So he's just out there. Like, he's got a wife beater and some American shorts. So RoboCop is squashing Lincoln, like he's whooping his ass right now. And Abe Lincoln goes for the diving Lincoln log leg drop. Lincoln log leg drop, but smack the side of the jacuzzi. At one point, Lincoln drives RoboCop's head into the jacuzzi. RoboCop says, "Dead or alive, you're coming with me." He does a belly-to-belly suplex off the top rope. And on the ringside, as they both lay there in pain, and Abe Lincoln drags his body to the mimosa hot tub, and we see bad CGI electrocution as he seizes and stops, and the crowd cheers for Abe Lincoln.
See, I wish you could use free agents so you can have a John Wilkes Booth interference spot.
You didn't have him hit the John Wilkes boot.
I didn't. He just like he beat him up and he dragged his body on. So he's like, ugh.
This is so stupid. I like it. Yeah, the past versus the future.
He got
the hot mimosa, like that. Just like you're not gonna want to drink the mimosa. It's fucking boiling in a hot tub.
No, he killed him.
It's probably got chlorine in there too.
He tossed him and he killed him.
Hot orange juice sounds disgusting.
I've never had anything like that, and I'll have to try it.
The fact that he spiked the whole entire tub with it.
Give me a shell, yeah.
I'm gonna give this $4.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All of our matches are so dumb.
Then it says, "Insert dildo joke here and play Organic Love it ad." Then it says, "Barroom Broad Saloon." So now we have a saloon, and Tumbleweed rolls by, and for some reason, even though they're inside, wind is blowing through Lance Cade's hair as the camera zooms in on his flaring nostrils, and he says, "This town ain't big enough for the both of us." Jimmy Wang Yang says, "The hangman's body count is going up one more tonight," as he reaches for his toy gun in his pocket. They both reach and get their guns at the same time. Then they throw them both to the ground. They both sprint each other and hit each other with clotheslines. So Jimmy Wang Yang gets scoop slammed onto the counter. Then Cade flips him over and then like slides his face and they slide your body through the counter, and then he hits he hits the various breakaway bottles, bowls of peanuts, and glasses. And the match ends when Jimmy Wang Gang says, "You climb the saddle, get ready to ride," as he grabs Lance Cade by the shoulders. But Cade grabs his shoulders and says, "A cowboy never dies as long as he's remembered." And he grabs his shoulders, and they both throw each other out the window. The match ends in a draw. Get it? Quick draw. That's literally what I said.
That joke pissed me off.
Get it? Quick draw.
You lost 50 cents for that joke.
That's literally what I typed out. Get it? Quick draw.
Honestly, if you had a make out, that would have made this better. Like,
No, they both just jumped out the window.
ugh.
Bro, that's what. This is the dumbest shit I ever wrote.
That joke pissed me off. In fact, the more you laugh at it, the lower that it gets. Like,
I'm gonna be weak for a minute. It's just gonna be low because that shit was so dumb.
because y'all pissing me off. Like, I hate this joke.
Such a bad joke.
That sounds like fucking like 2009, like Lil Wayne bar. You know what I mean? Like,
But it literally said the match ends in a draw. Get it? Quick draw in there. And I says wait. It says wait for laughter.
it's tanking. Will this be?
And I imagine that's on screen. Like I imagine.
Will this be the 0?
He said, "Get it? Quick draw."
Not the ha ha ha. Oh, fuck you! Don't laugh at your own jokes in text. Fuck you. I liked this concept for a minute. Now you're pissing me off. Like,
Oh shit! I tell you, this was gonna make you mad. I said I'm not gonna win this, so I'm gonna make you mad.
well, I have to make sure you both get your 0. So congratulations, you pissed me off. You get your 0 for typing out ha 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 Joe fucking joke.
That's supposed to be like wait for laughter.
Ugh,
Oh shit!
disgusting work. I actually liked the concept, but you pissed me off.
What would have gotten low if I didn't write quick draw and get
Maybe
quick
like a
draw?
250. And had they made out like a 4?
A cowboy never dies.
Cowboy never dies. As long as he's remembered. Okay, so Macho Man started to come down a little bit, and he says, "This next piece is an underrated match. You'll have your matches where it's star-studded. You don't need all that. You just need 2 talented individuals, both going for the title. That's not as important as the world title, making a name for themselves. These 2 superstars, yes, they may not be headliners.
Yeah, this is
but
that
they are
Tony Khan
showstoppers."
Coke right now.
He's coming down. He's coming down a little bit. So we got Shark Boy. He's seen as the crowd favorite, but Mark Jindrak isn't a fan of gimmicks, calling him like
Yeah,
calling
we
him
know.
Fish Boy and Aquaman and shit like that. And Shark Boy is like, so Shark Boy's getting offended by this. And he says, at one point, he says, "If a man can't get the job done, a boy can. A shark boy." And he starts getting hype like Shark Boy. Girl starts getting hype with him.
And then Kurt Angle comes out and says, "I'm a man
And he
who
flicks
loves
him
to play
off.
with boys."
And he flicks him off and hits him with a stunner and gets tossed 2 Diet Dr. Kelps, and he bangs them together and drinks them over his unconscious body. So now we're on to the pay-per-view. Mark Jindrak is squashing Shark Boy until the crowd chants, "Finn, Finn, 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 Finn." He starts getting hyped with the Finn thing. And then Shark Boy gets revved up and stomps a mud hole in him. And he goes for the stunner, but Mark Jindrak turns into a half Nelson lift. You said what?
Stomps a puddle into him.
Hey, I like that. But Jindrak turns into a half Nelson lift into a cutter from behind. At one point, Mark Jindrak European uppercut Shark Boy during a suicide dive. Shark Boy hits a superplex, and then Mark Jindrak ends up putting on the Shark Boy's vest and goes for a running elbow drop. He does try to do a little like the elbow drop that Stone Cold does. But Shark Boy hops up real quick, flicks him off, and does the stunner to loud cheers as he crawls to him and pins for the win.
Shell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's
So
the
what?
reaction. That happened.
Yeah.
That was there.
Yeah, these matches, like I said, these matches are not supposed to be serious for real.
Well, there's serious and like unserious where it's funny. There's unserious where it's awful, and this is just unserious where it's there. Like I was like, that's kind of like the I step out, I kind of go get me another Pepsi. It's not like a piss or shit break or anything, but I'm definitely not entertained. This is where I'm having a side
can't
conversation.
Get the job done. A boy can. A shark boy.
This is where me and Damone start talking about like other matches at this point when we're on StreamYard watching this pay-per-view. So I'm gonna give this $2.
I'll take it.
It was just there. Like it just didn't do anything.
Like I said, I don't expect any of these matches to get a 5. Like I said, this is
like that first
I made
line where he
immediate
said
after
like, "If a man can't do it, a boy can." That was the peak. and that's not where you want your peak to be.
Well, those are the promos. I knew the match wasn't gonna be good. It's Mark Jindrak and Shark
Yeah.
Boy.
Hey, Mark Jindrak's got some sauce. Put some respect.
I was like, I can only do so much with these two. So then my next one, it's D. Brian Kendrick and Trey Miguel. So their rivalry's pretty heated, like for the number one contender spot. It's pretty much a lot of on-site swinging on each other, both hungry for the belt. Security try to break them up, but they kind of wiggle out of it and just keep going and stuff like that, like week after week.
And it's who and Trey Miguel?
D. Brian Kendrick.
Okay.
So Trey Miguel's got on like real colorful tights. Kendrick has on like white trunks and that little blue jacket he has. And so they're both, it's pretty back and forth. At one point, Trey Miguel does a running rolling senton into Kendrick outside the apron. Excuse me. Kendrick goes for a power bomb, but a midair reversal, like Miguel does a Hurricane Rana, but at the same time, it's still getting reversed and does a sit-out power bomb in midair. The crowd's wild by it as Scott Steiner explains the aerodynamics of the move. And,
you see, if you flip 150 degrees,
like this is the Pythagorean theorem.
I just want an excuse to make Scott Steiner do math.
A squared B squared equals D squared.
I was like, it's gonna be good, ignorant. And then sliced bread number 2 gets reversed into a cutter by Trey Miguel as he pins for the 1, 2, 3. Trey Miguel is the winner and the number one contender.
this is probably a good match. Scott's. It's very randomly serious though. It's kind of like a weird vibe change. Like we've been given like fucking cowboys diving out of windows, fucking Shark Boy, fucking RoboCop, and Abe Lincoln in a pool of hot orange juice, and then we just get this randomly good cruiserweight match.
Going crazy
With no Macho Man like Coke segment between.
Nope. No.
Like there wasn't even the transition. He said nothing.
He just got to go right to that match. He's coming down now. He's like, "Sorry, kids." He's
So I don't know if
Sorry,
that
kids.
makes it worse or better. Like,
It just pans the Macho Man asleep.
I'm gonna give this.
I'm not sleeping. I'm resting my eyes.
I'm gonna give this 350.
350, okay.
It's like a 450 match, but like the vibe change was so random that I couldn't feel anything for it.
Sometimes you need that. You're like, "Whoa, what?" He's put on a banger real
Yeah.
quick.
So I was just like, there was no Coke transition. There was no
Just
fucking.
from Shark Boy a fucking banger match.
And then I was just like waiting for the funny part, other than Scott Steiner's thing, and I was like, "Wait, oh, this is just a good match.
It's just a good ass match.
What the fuck?" I was like,
It's a wow, okay.
not even a stupid storyline for the good match.
Nope.
It's like a normal storyline. Like,
Just no going at it.
okay,
Get your straight man moment. You're like, "Oh, okay."
like you didn't tell me, you didn't transition me. No fiddle foul, you just put it in.
He's coming down. He's like, "You know what? I'm going to give him something good." Would you give it?
I gave it 350.
350,
Like I
okay.
said, it would have been a 450 for just the match, but the vibe change took $1 off for me because I couldn't enjoy it. Like I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's like coming down from a party drug, like which Macho Man is probably doing.
I was gonna say at this point, Macho Man comes back and he's chugging water at this point, and he says, "All right, main event. All we're waiting for, a good old intergender match." So Batista looking for a challenger. At this point, I'm not gonna do the voice because that should tear my throat up. So Batista's looking for a challenger, and Bianca throws her women's title off to the side and steps up, gets in his face. Batista laughs at her as Bianca's like dead ass serious. And week after week, Batista's getting more and more disrespectful, like talking about how women need to be in the kitchen, should be.
I know
for
who needs to
mans,
save this feud. Nice,
Nice
podcast
pause,
against
nice
the
pause.
referee.
It's a
He
good old
ended
nice
sexism once, and he'll do it again.
They expect him more and more until Bianca tells him to stop being a little bitch and fight her. He clotheslines her, and he's like, "All right, bet." He clotheslines her. It says, "You want to fight with the big boys?" He grabs her by the hair and says, "Remember, you wanted this." And then he like kisses her cheek as the crowd's like, "Oh," like all disgusted. And then,
This
and he
guy
throws
stinks.
They're like, "Oh," they're disgusted. And he throws her head down, the moves for the crowd, and he's like doing his little thing, put a little thumbs down thing, and then he hits her with the Batista bomb. So they
So
were
funny
at,
about this that Batista's like the least sexist person.
He was an evolution.
He had nasty
He used to
affiliate.
share them CM Punk abortion T-shirts in a clothing rack. Like he ready to
Damn
go.
it. So Bianca Belair comes out in pink. Batista comes out in white. Match is very back and forth. Bianca does a moonsault off the apron to an unexpected Batista ringside. Batista hits Bianca with the spear. Then Batista lifts her for the Batista bomb, but Bianca reverses it with the Hurricane Rana. Then Bianca hair whips his gut, and then wows the crowd with the gut wrench power bomb over her own that drains her energy and doesn't finish the pin. And then she ends up crawling to the turnbuckle and hits a 450 for the pin and the win. As she cries and is awarded the belt. Confetti drops, and we hear "Black Girl Magic" as the crowd cheers.
Well, how many times in Book It Verse are we gonna have fucking Bianca Belair winning a big match, crying to get fucking confetti?
That's what she does. That's her whole thing. She has to win.
Hold on. So I had her overcome racism, and now she overcame
sexism. She is the GOAT. She's the GOAT.
She's about to beat all fucking Israel and Palestine in the next fucking Book It Verse.
I was gonna say, wait till what you call it? BOA. Wait till the next episode of BOA.
God, Kenny's got her in there too. She's about to do some mad inspirational shit.
It's gonna go crazy.
All right.
This one had another the end just it went from really fucking silly to like serious.
It's such a fucking vibe change
because he came down. But the Ultra Man came down from his coke binge.
The coke, he ran out of coke.
He ran out of coke, man. So he's on there chugging water. He's getting himself right now. He's getting himself straight.
All right. So I could say what Damone's got while I'm in the middle of doing math for Kenny's.
What did you give Kenny for the last match?
I gave Kenny a 4 because that's like a good Book It Verse thing, but it's still fucking out of place. So it's $1 lower than it should be just because the vibe is off.
So it would have been a 5, but it got to end up getting a 4.
Because the vibe is off, and I don't know. This feels wrong.
I'm still weak at the fact that
it feels like these last 2 matches feel like something that's built to with Travis talking for an hour. not this.
It was summarized. It was that was summarized.
Yeah.
I'm still weak at the fact that you were about to give my Lance Cade, Jerry Wayne Yeager 2.5. They got mad at the very last line. He gave me
that shit pissed me off.
Quick draw. Get it?
It's a ha 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 ha. Oh my god! Because I knew I was trolling when I made it. I said ha ha ha.
This was super fun. It was dumb.
It was dumb as hell.
Do it again.
Next time the match would end into a draw. Get it? Quick draw.
Almost done with the math.
Next time we gotta involve John or Travis or Mike Evers come back, show back to work.
We can switch roles and I could do it or something like that. We can run this back.
Oh shit!
Fun.
Good and that shit was fun.
So, to go back over the ratings for those who may have forgotten, for Triple D Balls, Cage and Copeland versus the Young Rockers got a 4. Scotty versus Mikey got 250. Mordecai versus Vince got 1. R-Truth versus Riddle got 425. The Bra and Panties match got a 0. 2x4 and a pole match got 3. The meat match got 350. And LA Knight versus David Arquette got 290. And his composite score was $3.02.
Hey,
beating some real bucket.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He beat my last Book It Verse for sure, and then 2 of BBW shows. But speaking of BBW, crazy. The new BBW, Slappin Meat, the King of the Mountain match got a 475. The Gowns and Kennels match got a 75 cents. Manic versus Dr. Wagner got 325. Past versus Future got $4. The Barroom Brawl got a 0. Shark Boy versus Mark Jindrak got a 2. Brian Kendrick versus Trey Miguel got 350. And Batista versus Bianca got a 4. And his composite score was $2.78, meaning Damone wins this round.
I'll take it.
Damone, I mean, Kenny had more money, but it was divided by 1 more match. So,
oh, was it?
Yeah, because you had 8 matches and Damone had 7.
No, I had 8.
Did I do that math right?
Oh, because we had zeros.
Yeah, did you include my 0?
I think so.
Collusion.
Let me make sure. We might be riddled in some controversy. Recount in Florida.
I'm about to say, this is crazy.
Recount in Florida.
See what happens. You gave my
Stop the steal.
Lance K to Jimmy Wang Yang match to 0. See what happens.
Black boy
Bad
Matt.
things happen. Black girl magic. Black girl magic.
I'm the black girl in this
I should have
scenario.
taken off more for that chant, actually. But it's too late now.
I knew y'all
I
were
hate
fucking with
that
it.
shit.
I knew y'all were fucking with it.
And the fact it's in Russia, it's in Moscow.
Yeah, they never say that shit.
Bruh.
She had a rocky ass moment. If you can change,
And she, I'm about to say, she really.
we all
Dutch chocolate. They was calling her Dutch chocolate.
I
That's why they
forgot
fucking
about
with her.
that chant when I was doing ratings. I feel like I should retroactively get to take $1 off.
Nope, can't do it. Can't do it. It's already been set in stone.
That pisses me off again.
Dutch chocolate.
I was like,
Shout out to Dutch chocolate.
okay, doing that.
Oh shit. I might have to do it my comedy match. I might have to add something like that. Do
make
that
sure you
fucking
go
quick,
to
that quick draw shit.
meets. They catered the barroom brawl.
Bro, that shit is hilarious.
I can just imagine the fact Jimmy Wing Yang. We need to have a staple where it's just cowboys, like just all cowboys, all the cowboy gimmicks we've done. So Hangman, Jimmy Wang Yang, Lance. It was Lance Cade, right?
Lance Cade.
I'm trying to think of who else has been cowboys.
Okay, with
there's
the
a ton of
updated math,
cowboys in wrestling.
because I think I may have skipped Damone 0 on his. His composite score is now a 2.73, meaning Kenny actually wins by 5 cents. And Damone's no longer beating most Booker. He still beats one Mike show, one me show, one Travis show.
That's
Hey,
crazy.
I beat Travis's developmental, didn't I?
You beat Travis's developmental. You beat
I'll take it.
With deathmatch.
Deathmatch.
You beat my weekly show. You beat Mike's first show, and I think you beat like your worst tag team show, you and Mike's.
Yeah. I'll take it.
So with a 5-cent victory, Kenny scrapes by after a recount in Florida.
Hey, that's all I
The
needed, man.
stoppage
That's all
of the steal.
My denim.
My denim.
My denim.
They should have chanted Black Girl Magic after that match.
Sid Vicious and Jamie Noble.
Now that would have been $5.
In their evening gowns.
Yeah.
Tell me, Black Girl Magic.
So not that anybody wants to after this, but D Money, tell them where to find you.
You can find me on Twitter and on TikTok and everything else at DumbMoney213, DAMONEYT, the number 13.
And Bad Guy, where can they find you in your 100 shows?
See, I told you I had a short show this one. I told you I had a real short one. You can catch me on all social medias at Bad Guy Spoken. You can catch the Bad Guy Spoken podcast on YouTube. You can catch Unbiased, the football podcast, also on the same channel. And you can catch Hood Movie Review. That's also on the same channel where we review nothing but hood movies.
All right. Well, that's been an episode of Book It. See ya.
Bye.